What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Four Dads Podcast. Hope you all are having an awesome week. A lot of exciting stuff coming up here. Fortinet was pretty awesome. Great to see Theegala pull out a W. I mean, he looked pretty solid. Did you get to watch the final round?
I didn't. I watched some of the Thursday and Friday last weekend. I had my parents over this weekend, so wasn't able to watch too much. And with football going on now, I feel like that kind
I
of
know.
supersedes it, and it's hard to really kind of get both in. But I did see in the beginning, Sahith kind of held the lead, and obviously I was definitely pulling for him because I feel like the one thing that I love about Full Swing and really about any behind the scenes documentaries or anything with any professional athletes is really seeing the person who they are that you don't see, because you usually just see them show up to the golf course and play. That's usually it, right? And seeing him, how he was, how close he was with his parents, what his dad gave up, to help him get to where he was with his clubs, always cleaning his clubs. It sounds like a really great dad, honestly. Just all the support that his family gave him, especially when he came out of nowhere. At least in my opinion, since I didn't really follow too much like collegiate golf, where he came up from Pepperdine, and there was like a huge thing, whether it was last year or 2 years ago. I think it must have been 2 years ago when he played really well in the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management, and he was killing it. Hit a great drive on 17 on that short par four, and went into the water. And just to see how devastated and how his parents were there to support him, like, hey, like it's okay, like they weren't mad or frustrated or irritated, like they're as supportive as you could be as a parent in that situation. But he just seems like an all around good kid. And it's crazy to say kid because me and you are 32 and he's probably like mid 20s, but like it's crazy now, like all these pro athletes, whether it's golf or whatever sport, they're just a lot younger than us. And it's just a lot to think about now how old we are, and we're at that part of the life, where you're not looking up to the guys as like a teenager or like a high schooler. These guys are like younger than you, and it's just a lot. What about you? What'd you think?
I thought he played. I thought he played really solid throughout the whole weekend. I mean, it was a fight for first place all weekend. It was like Max Homa was up there for a little bit, and then JT was there for a little bit. Then Sahith was there, and then it was just back and forth. But he just stuck with it. I mean, it was great to see him win. It's going back on something you just mentioned about how, like, it's funny that we call him a kid, dude. I saw this statistic that was saying that, like, Steph Curry's coming into like his 16th season.
What?
Hold on. Kevin Durant's coming into like his 17th or 18th or something like that. And
oh my,
they were talking about LeBron. They were saying like LeBron's coming into like almost his 25th. I think it was.
Dude, imagine getting 30 years in a professional sport besides golf. I feel like it's more, or being a kicker in the NFL. I feel like that's not as difficult to be, because of physical wise, like, it's not as demanding on your body. But wow, that's insane.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's coming. So he's coming into his 21st season.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want people to be like, "Whoa, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know stuff." Like, this is a goat, But he's coming into his 21st, and then there was another player that was up there too, and they literally called it like the ends to an era, and it's like, oh my god, it's crazy to think that these guys have been in there for so long,
right? Like it's for the NFL too. Like if you think about it, like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers. Now he's kind of coming to the end. Like when they're gone, it's like even you can even like throw in maybe not Matt Ryan, but who's the other guy who played for the Colts?
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan's up there too.
Drew Brees, that was the guy. Yeah. No, not just Brees. The other guy who played for San Diego for a while, who has like 10 kids. Rivers. Like same thing where it's like you have all these quarterbacks that have played for so long and been very successful. Obviously, Tom Brady's toppled every single player, but it's just like when they're gone, it's like it's kind of like the Messi Ronaldo thing now, where like they had played against each other, the best of the world in the same division, in the Liga for X amount of years, and you have so many people that are like, don't take for granted what you have because you don't know what you have until it's gone. And obviously, you grow up in that era. that's all you know. You assume there's always going to be someone that good that's going to come on up and take the throne, but it's not as easy like that as some people do. Like they will eventually, but to see a person at that level, like a Tiger Woods that came out of nowhere, we grew up, and that was like our childhood.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's
oh,
still
that
that's still everybody talks about. I mean,
exactly. There's not
you
been
know,
anyone close. There's
no,
not been
there
anyone
hasn't.
close.
Well, there's been
Maybe
player
Brooks.
there's no, I feel like you're looking for a fight, kind of saying that. No, but I mean, I mean, Brooks' competitive nature, sure. Like, there's a lot of players that are up there that just kind of have that cutthroat. Like, I'm gonna, if my foot's on your throat, I'm gonna keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks is definitely one of them. But when you look at overall talent, there's a very, very few guys that are like, whoa,
Right.
that's
That
the
really
replica of
separate
Tiger.
themselves. That separate
Yeah,
themselves as much as
yeah,
Tiger did back then. Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
And
100%.
kind of leading into that, like, I don't know, man. I know last week we kind of touched on the Ryder Cup just a bit and what our expectations were, but looking at the lineup of the Europe team,
I'm scared.
it, I am too. There's some sticks. I mean, one, we know Rory's going to blow it on a Sunday or Saturday, so
Whenever he needs
you know,
points, he's going to blow it. Yeah, right,
yeah.
right.
He's going to hit ball far. He can hit ball very far,
I hit
but
ball far.
yeah. But when it comes to putting, it's just going to be like shake. He's going to be putting like Will Zalatoris off the heel. That
Oh man, that hurts just seeing that.
that one gets me. That one gets me every time. I'm like, dude, how do you do that? How do you do that? But uh, the two guys, the I gotta
And then you
say
have Hovland. If
my
Hovland's
top
as hot
four.
as he was, ugh.
I mean, my top four right now is Victor's going to be tough to play against. I mean, he's just playing really, really good golf, But again, he's also spotty sometimes too.
Mhm.
John Rahm in this environment always tends to play very well. Um, Matt Fitzpatrick. I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing him on Instagram, but that dude's been putting in work.
Dude, that's all he does,
Like
man. That's all the
that's
kid
all.
does. The kid's a
Yeah.
grinder, man.
So I'm thinking he's going to come out with some vengeance. Tommy Fleetwood is just a guy who just doesn't miss, but sometimes just putts just don't fall. And you got Terrell Hatton, who he can come in clutch. Same with Shane. Shane can shock some people. I
Dude,
mean, who
Terrell
knows?
Terrell is the only Tyrell that I've ever heard that's a white guy. When I
Yeah,
first got back into golf, I was like, Tyrell Hatton. Oh, that's who you are. Oh, it's Terrell. Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Like that was
I mean, I don't know who this. I don't recognize this name, but this Nicole Hojadard, Ho I'm butchering it,
Captain's son.
but
Captain's son. Gotta
yeah.
be a father,
No,
like nephew.
Luke Donald's. Luke Donald's the captain. But I was gonna say, I feel like someone's gonna trip this guy over at a porta potty stop, and then Francesco Molinari is gonna come in and just show us that he still got it.
Well, that's the thing about the European team. Like, I don't know how they do it, but they're such a great team. They have such a good team aspect and like environment where they
Yeah,
always have each other's backs. No matter if they are underdogs or favorites, they usually, I think they prefer to be underdogs, honestly. And they
yeah,
really are good at using that for them and to their advantage compared to the USA, which I don't think has won on European soil in like 30, 40 years or something like that. So, I
yeah.
mean, I think Molinari is Italian, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong,
I
but
think you're right.
I think he's the only Italian on the team. And it's a little different in the United States when they play in the US, right? Like you play in the
Yeah,
US, everyone's on the US, right? So like you're in your home country. But like I wonder how much of an effect that would have on the Europe team if you have only one player from Italy. And it's like, yeah, you're playing in Europe, but you're not playing in your home country. You probably rarely played in this country. Like who plays golf in Italy, honestly? Like when I went to Italy, was it 5, 6 years ago? My thing that I do, like I said before in this podcast, is like some people get shot glasses where they visit things. Some people they get something to like remember the trip. For me, it's golf balls.
I take
You know,
golf balls.
do what? No, yeah, exactly. I get golf balls. I could not find a golf ball even online with just like an Italian flag saying I was in Rome. Nothing. And obviously they have golf all around the world, but like I was like, who just doesn't have a golf ball? I went to Chelsea Soccer Stadium, Manchester United Soccer Stadium. They had a freaking basket of just golf balls with their logo on it. Like, it was just like that was the norm. And when you hear of Rome, you probably think soccer. You probably think soccer, and you probably think soccer. I mean, there's probably not much else out there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but
But then also too is like you got to remember, man, we got Patrick Cantlay. Like the pace of play and the mind
oh,
games he's gonna be he's gonna be icing a lot of
icing a
players.
man, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be icing a lot of players. And then you got Sam Burns where they're gonna be like, how'd you even get a uniform for
Yeah,
this?
right. Are you sure? Are you not on the list, sir? Oh wow, you are. Oh wow,
Yeah.
you're on the. No, but dude, imagine. Okay, so think about this. Think if they put Patrick Cantlay with the fastest golfing group on the Europe team just to f with them. Like,
Be genius.
what a genius! How crazy would that be? Just to be like, I don't know who's fast, but I'm sure there's data that you can look up to see like what the average rounds are, right, in the PGA Tour, and then just use that and be like, okay, Patrick, you're gonna go with them. Just do your thing. Just get comfortable.
It's gotta be with Tom. It's gotta be Tommy. It's gotta be Tommy for sure is one. I mean, Tommy doesn't do a lot. He's just like, I look at my line, he walks into it with no shoulder swag and then just like whacks it and holds it off. I'd have to say the other fast person would probably have to be Matt Fitzpatrick.
I
Like
could
those,
see him
like,
getting irritated. I could
yeah,
really see him
yeah.
getting irritated. Oh yeah.
And then could you imagine just the blatant like disrespect of Brooks Koepka just walking up to the first tee, having a fat chaw, and just be like, spits it right,
Yeah.
right on the European land. Just like he's like, "Welcome to the fucking show."
Yeah.
and then and then of course you got the two shit talkers who are politely shit talkers. Actually, you got three of them. You got the three polite shit talkers who are Justin, Jordan, and Max Homa.
Mm.
And then you got the whisperer of Scotty Scheffler, who's like, "Am I going to make this 6-foot putt?" Just losing his shit with every
No,
step.
you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not,
And
dude.
then
Go for it. Go
hold
for it.
on, but then you got Colin Morikawa, who is like, it's hit or miss. I mean, I've heard a lot of things that like apparently he's like a real big a-hole on for a lot of
Really
people
on the course,
and
or just
yeah,
in general?
just in general, he like has like a level of entitlement apparently. So
Oh,
who
nice.
knows? Maybe he's
I
out
mean,
there
he
like
went to
pick you up.
Cal. He went to Cal. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you know what? But I mean, so did Homa, and
true,
he's not
true.
he's not like
Well,
that.
is Colin from the
Homa's
Bay
like your
Area? Is Colin from the Bay Area? Because I know Mahomes from LA, right?
Mahome.
No,
Oh,
Homa.
you mean
Homa's from
Homa?
LA, but
Let me
I think
see.
Colin's from the Bay Area. But
Oh, so he's definitely got the entitlement then for sure.
no, I don't know. I was just wondering. If he's
No,
in
let me
Cal,
see.
that'd be the only difference that I could think of off the top of my head.
Let me see. Where is he from?
But while you're looking that up, I've been reading a book. Well, reading is fairly kind of a reach. I've kind of stopped reading it for the time being because I've been too tired to
He's
read.
from LA too.
Oh, he is? Okay. Well, then I don't know what the issue is. He's just different family dynamic, whatever it is. But I've been reading a book about the Ryder Cup 2021. I think it was the last one. It was 2020, but because of it was
COVID.
2021. It was, something about COVID. But whenever they had Whistling Straits, they had Kevin Kisner, and that is the ultimate shit talker that you want on your team. Like this guy, like you've seen Rick and Morty, right? The show Rick and Morty.
Wasn't that the year that he walked in front of the players because he was just like, I mean, what's it
No,
matter?
no.
Like,
Well, yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that right after this. But you've seen Rick and Morty, right? The show. So like the grandpa Rick, he's just like a degenerate drinker, like a trailer park,
yeah,
drinker. He's not just like a fancy, here's a martini, looking cute kind of a thing. And that's Kevin Kisner. He's just a trailer. Like he's like, you guys don't know how to party. You guys have no idea. Like you guys are so weak. And this guy just like Brooks throws in a chew, drinks, gets hammered. I've heard stories of him drinking like 20, 30, 20, 25 beers on a round and shooting like 4 to 5 under, 6, 7 under, talking crap the whole time, doing the same thing that you're saying, welcome to the effing show. Like this ain't no effing hobby, like just that mentality, even at like 38, 40. But like you said, yeah, the first time I really had heard of him, besides foreplay when they did like a foursome with him, um, the Dell Championships or whatever that was with the what do you call it, the match play, Dell Match Play Championship or
Yeah,
whatever. He was
yeah.
going against Scotty Scheffler, and he was like the winner the previous year, and I think that was the one that Scotty actually won. He was down by 4 shots, or 4 holes or whatever, and he takes his approach shot, gets on the green, and instead of just waiting for Scotty to take his approach shot, this dude literally just takes a beeline to his ball, just walks straight to his ball, doesn't look around, doesn't look at Scotty like, oh hey, I'm gonna walk over here. Just literally just hits his shot on the green. Okay, he walks straight to his ball and marks his ball, making Scotty wait the whole time, watch him for maybe like 120 yards, just walk there, mark his ball to try and just get into his head, because it's not against the rules. It's kind of just like the whole like etiquette thing, right?
Respect. Yeah,
But he's like, screw that. That's out the window. I'm losing. I'm doing anything I can to get in this guy's head. And someone like Kevin is perfect to have like a massive joker, not even a wild card, but like a joker on the team that's just like, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win as long as it's legal, even if it's going to be rubbing people the wrong way etiquette wise. Like, F it. Like, that's etiquette. That's out the window when it comes to winning or losing. And he still ended up losing, but I thought that was hilarious because I'm like, that guy's got some balls. Just like
I think that'd be great, but I think it has to come from somebody who's not like 30th on the golf ranking.
Ooh, burn. Ooh,
I'm
burn.
just saying. Like ultimately,
but okay, but where's Justin Thomas right now?
true.
Where's Justin Thomas?
But see, like Justin Thomas subtly, like I said, Justin Thomas subtly likes to talk a lot of ish too. So that's where you can kind of get into it. I mean, look at what he did. Look at that episode, or not the episode, but the match where it was him and Jordan versus Tiger and Rory. I mean, he literally gave Rory like I don't know, maybe like a 30-foot putt or something like that. And he's like, yeah, that's good. And then what does he do? He sinks the 12-footer like right in the heart. Just like, yeah, boys, I didn't want you to have to waste your time. And Tiger's like, you did not just do that. You did not just do that.
Yeah.
So
man.
I mean, those two guys, I mean, they go back a long time, but they can dish it for sure. But again, I don't think it's going to be much of the talking. It's going to be more of like, all right, put $1,000. I stick it 5 feet inside of your ball.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, you can't do that to me in the middle of this round.
Do you know, what was it? A few Ryder Cups ago, I think it was Luke. No, not Luke Donald. Who's the guy who was on Ian Poulter? I think it might have been Ian Poulter. A fan was chewing him out or something during one of the Ryder Cups about missing a putt or something like that, and literally singled out a fan and was like, hey, you think you can make that? Come on over here. I'll give you $100 if you make this putt. And you could probably find it on Instagram or whatever. But whatever it was,
I just watched that video.
Right, yeah, it comes up like every Ryder Cup, right? It's like the video that people watch, and like this guy comes up, and he's getting the crowd pumped up. I'd be shit and bricks, dude, if I had to go up in front of all these fans. And $100 bet to make this like maybe 12, 15-foot putt with a little right to left, and just you watch this putt, and you're like, oh, he crushed that thing. Oh, and it just hits right in the center, right in the back, and falls right in. And 3/4 in, he starts fist pumping, knowing it went in, and the crowd goes wild. And the guy's got the $100 about to pay him, and you're just like, ooh, like imagine you call out a fan hoping that he's going to embarrass himself, and he freaking trains it in front of everybody. Like, you picked the wrong guy to mess with in that situation.
I'm trying to see who that was. Justin Rose.
Justin Rose. That's who it was. Okay.
That's who it was. And then he comes on board and sinks it. Yeah, dude. Well, again, like, I don't know, when emotions are riding high like that, amazing things happen. And again, like, he just saw the line and went for it. Like, if
you think he framed that $100, or you think he used it?
Oh, he used it to buy a drink for sure.
Buy a round of drinks or whatever for the.
Actually, you know what? He probably did frame it. I guarantee you, there was a bunch of people that are like, "I'm buying you a drink. I'm buying you a
Right.
drink.
Yeah.
And he was
Right.
like,
Yeah. Don't need to
for
buy them.
sure.
Yeah.
He's like,
Please. Yeah.
keep them coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Uh,
Yeah. That'd be pretty, man, that's epic. That you're right. That video comes up a lot and it's always like around this time for sure. Going back to the NFL, I'm gonna let you kind of take. I want to really pick your brain on this because you're huge on fantasy. I just do it just because it's like, oh, cool, I have something to look at, you know. Dude, what do you think of all these injuries? Actually, let me
um,
elaborate on that. Let me elaborate on that. What do you think of all these injuries and the league kind of saying that it's, or not
the
the league, but
turf.
players? Yeah, the turf. What do you think of that?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't have the information in front of me where I don't know really what the issues are. Right. A lot of people say your feet get caught more in turf. You know, with grass, your foot can go out because the grass. You're not like the level of these players are, how strong they are, how quick they are, how much power that they have. It doesn't give on turf when it should give on grass because it doesn't hold, and because of that, supposedly you're supposed to get less injuries because it's natural. I think injuries can happen whenever they are. It sometimes it's going to happen regardless of whatever turf it is. It's just going to happen. My college baseball coach, my senior year in the fall, we did for conditioning a flag football league just for our team. We coach ran the clock. He did it all. It was a lot of fun. No one got injured. His theory was if someone's going to get injured, you were going to get injured at some point. Of course, unless you had a random scary freak accident, right? Like if you were going to tear an ACL, it was going to happen. If you were going to, unless like again a freak accident's happened, but nothing happened that year, and we played on turf, no issues. Um, and I'm all for grass. I mean, if that's what they think it is, that's what the data is, go for it. These owners are saying we want turf because it's easier to have other events like, concerts and stuff on the field and doesn't ruin it. But when the FIFA World Cup comes up and they have to switch to grass, like, oh yeah, we'll change to natural grass, no problem. You'll change for like a 2 month tournament, but you're not going to change for your players that you're investing millions and millions and millions of dollars in. And the end goal for you is not just money, but obviously winning championships. And if your championships are dependent on your players being healthy, how the heck do you not just swap that out and bite the bullet? You're not having a mom and pop shop owner that owns the San Francisco 49ers. They're all billionaires. The money isn't an issue. But I feel that usually the most injuries happen first week of training camp, first training camp game, last training camp game, or first week of the NFL usually. That's usually kind of what happens because they're either working out right before the preseason starts, and then they haven't been really doing too many cutting drills because if they were to tear their ACL or do some kind of a non-contact injury off the field, well, they're not getting compensated for that. So they're just
Yeah.
working out and building all their stuff up. So by the time that they're not really familiar with their bodies because of all this new maybe weight training or doing something new, they injure themselves not on purpose, but just because of they're not used to what their body's going to do. I don't know. What do you think?
So to that point, I mean, I think you hit it right on the nail. And again, from a financial standpoint, you got to think these guys just want to keep as much money as possible, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
No,
that
yeah,
could just
yeah.
be that. I mean, that could just be just them being selfish. Like again, you know that with soccer, you're going to get a couple $1 billion in ticket sales, early on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for football, I think that's a great question. Why are you not investing, or why are you not further investing in these guys that you're already paying
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of dollars to be out there and basically put their bodies on the line, to bring home the Lombardi if you're even in contention. But the other thing was, Julian Edelman talked about it and how that was why in the offseason, Brady and him and what's the guy's name? Amidala or
Amendola. Yeah, Danny.
yeah, Amendola. Yeah, Danny Amendola. They would always go down to like the beach. They would go down to Florida. They would go
Mm.
down to these places because they are working on cut drills. They're literally
Mm-hmm.
counting out steps of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cut. Right, create some type of diversion, or not diversion, but some kind of a move to throw the cornerback off, and they would work on these things, and then it would one help Brady get the timing to where they cut, bam, the ball's already in their pocket, right? And he said on the podcast, and I think it was with
Was it with the Kelsey brothers or something? I know they've been doing a
No,
lot of stuff recently.
um, I think he mentions it in that one, but there was also another one. I forget what his name is. He played for the Bills. He had like dreads. I forget what his name is, but anyways, he was saying the reason why a lot of the injuries happen is because your body is used to like some type of being
Mm-hmm,
absorbed, and
mm-hmm,
then you
mm-hmm.
transfer that weight. He goes, when you're running with cleats, and he goes, and if you look at today's cleats, I mean, they're thick cleats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're out there on turf, he's like, you're just cutting on cement. Like he's like, they try and make it as smooth and as natural as possible, but it just isn't that way. I mean,
Right.
you're running, he's like, your feet, the balls of your feet hurt.
Mm.
You go down, it doesn't soften the blow any bit. He's like, you got guys who are 275 pounds coming at you full steam. And that's like a Ayuk, right? Ayuk went up for that catch, slams his shoulder, and he's got a shoulder issue, right? He
Yeah.
just came down midair and just slams. Like
Well, I
there's
mean,
nothing
like
to soften that.
for Nick Chubb's injury that he just had, like breast, ugh, man, that was I'd never been more hurt in my life, dude. Seeing that,
Yeah.
I haven't even met the guy, but like he's just the epitome of a good person, at least on an NFL
Yeah.
level. Uh, Natural grass. It happened on natural grass. His leg got caught. Obviously it was in my opinion, a dirty hit. It's the
Oh,
Steelers. Like
was that natural grass?
100%. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers are outside. Oh yeah, natural grass.
Oh, okay.
But the issue was there was someone tackling him high, and the other guy came in low. Like, what are we doing? You can't come out here and tell me, "Oh, I'm not a dirty player." Well, fine, but you got a dirty hit. Like there was already somebody on top of him. If you were 1-on-1 and you're trying to go low, that's fine. I get that. You're the only one. If it was like Nick Chubb, he runs people over. I get it. But there was literally someone on him for like a second and a half to 2 seconds while you were attempting to get to him, and you didn't even look
Yeah.
to see where you were hitting. You just put your head down, and now you probably ruined somebody's life, like legitimately. And he needs 2 surgeries, which is insane for an ACL tear, and it's all
Yeah.
ligaments, everything.
They
It's
said, yeah,
terrible.
they compared it to like not as bad as Alex Smith, but they said that the amount of detail in the surgery is going to be like his, where it's they got to really be careful with everything, bring everything back
Mm,
together,
yeah.
and that's the second time on that same leg too. Like
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
what was it,
At
his
Georgia
injury in
versus
college at
Tennessee.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was ugly. I remember that one.
I do too.
Um,
And
yeah, but to see,
they were saying back then when he was a freshman, he was going to be better than Todd Gurley. And that was when Todd Gurley had the off year, like when he went off no, actually, no, Todd Gurley, sorry. He was still like a junior or senior going off before he had his injury before he got drafted that year. And they were like, yeah, this freshman dude, they're supposed to be better than Gurley. And it's kind of like, dude, Gurley's
what?
like insane. There's no way. And obviously, Gurley had his amazing couple years, but Chubb has held it for like more than that. And just with a torn ACL, just like
Yeah,
Gurley did. And man,
I will say though, I think Nick Chubb's came back with a lot more than what Gurley did. When Gurley got hurt, like it was just like he just didn't run as he didn't run
fiercely.
as fiercely. I mean, same thing with like
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson. When Adrian Peterson went down, Adrian Peterson came back and just didn't seem the same either.
Like, yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's got to be in the back of your mind, dude. I mean, it's got to
for
be a
sure,
mental thing,
for
like
sure,
anytime you get hit, man.
for sure. Well, and the other thing is too, I mean, this isn't like taking anything away from Nick Chubbs, but I think even when Nick Chubbs came into the league, the one issue that a lot of reporters did mention about him is he runs tall.
Mm.
He runs tall. He runs up. So it's like if you're gonna go and wrap somebody, like he can continue to push through you because he's a big dude. So taking out the legs is kind of exactly what you need. You need to wrap up his legs. But that hit, yeah, that was really really late, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
But
right. I
yeah,
mean, the crazy thing is, like, no matter what sport you play, you're gonna have a grind on your body. Like, and with golf, like it's your lead leg, your lead knee is going to take a lot of pressure, like you saw with Tiger Woods, with the amount of pressure, the amount of stress, the amount of power that he had on his swing, and how much it affected his front knee. And
well, but
also,
let's
you
hold
know,
on. Let's crack into that a little bit more. Like you remember when Tiger was wearing the metal spikes, he had his foot on the cement, and remember he like broke
Oh,
his
yeah,
leg,
yeah. No,
right?
no, it happened before then, but he heard more cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, on the U.S. Open,
I
right?
mean, yeah.
At
So I
like
was gonna
Pebble, I think.
say,
Yeah.
I don't think it was Pebble. Was it Pebble? I don't remember. Anyways, but I was gonna say, you see a lot of guys who are doing well, but again, Tiger brought a different level of like aggressiveness to the game. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
really was like all about, I need to swing 1,000%
He was
on the
Bryson DeChambeau
ball.
before Bryson DeChambeau. Like he.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, and you even hear Bryson, like he talks about, or when he was really competing with or working out with Kyle Berkshire, and they were doing the LTD launch, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
showed the range and how their front foot was just sliding out. And Bryson actually said, like, yeah, I went metal cleat on my back foot so I could hold myself,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and get through it. But I went with a soft spike on my front because I need that foot, I need that left hip to clear. And if I have
That's
spikes, like
smart.
it gets stuck. It gets stuck.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense,
So
man.
yeah, so he mentioned that
Cause I see
because
like
Kyle
you.
Berkshire does that. Yeah,
Because I've seen you where I've asked you, like with your Jordan ones, or like Jordan 1 lows or whatever, like there's no traction really, like spikes,
nothing.
right? So like
Yeah,
it's literally just like playing with a workout shoe.
it's like
And
Vans.
I'm like, why do people do this? Like I see Tony Finau, he's got a whip and he does the same thing where he doesn't really have anything on the bottom. Like, how do you do that with the force that you're doing it? And unless they have a back leg or they're just extremely balanced with their swing, like
That's exactly it. I think that's exactly it. Like you're seeing a guy like Bryson who's going, you know, he's going back aggressive. He's getting as long as he can, and he's
yeah.
trying to feel that pull right
Mhm.
at the end.
Yeah.
For him, he's 100% all the way through. A guy like Tony Finau, smooth because he has that little slight Jim Furyk thing. It's like
Mhm.
60% fire through the ball, right? And if you
Yeah.
look at like if you go onto YouTube and you look at some of the videos of where that robot is like breaking down people's swings, like these
I've
guys
wanted to
have,
try that. But it looks pretty cool.
yeah. I was gonna say the one thing in common that all of these players have, even if you look at like you can set it too to where it's like like prime Tiger, like 2005, right?
Hmm.
And what the difference was in their swings, and all of these guys, the one point is how far their hands are in front to compress that ball. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
you're talking about like an 8 iron going from like this to basically like this because
Mhm.
their hands are so far out in front. They're staying over that ball for so long. I mean, they're just compressing the crap out of it. So even you hear this a lot from PGA coaches and from real good players, which smooth is fast, right? Smooth is
Mhm.
fast, and it's totally true. I mean, these guys are just like, all right, I got it. Now I can fire from hip to the top of my to my top ear, and that's where I feel like some of these players they can go without spikes, but also
Right.
too you got to remember. Sorry, I had to, a lot of these a lot of these fairways are really firm
Mm.
now. I mean, you see how much that ball rolls out now, so it's kind of like, why do you want to put a spike? You're going to be going into clay because they cut them so
Mhm.
tight and they're just so
Yeah.
packed. It
Mhm.
just doesn't make sense to have a spike.
Yeah.
Maybe in the wintertime, but not.
Yeah. Yeah. In the wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not
But
for most of these courses when they're playing.
yeah,
It's
man,
not
I
very
had.
often. It's not very often you're seeing a lot of PGA players play in the rain unless they're in Europe, or
Mhm.
you know, or it's just a shock of like crazy weather change. But other than that,
Mhm.
it's always beautiful, windy, but
If anything,
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
great conditions.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. I can't. As much as I like some looks of shoes, I need to have some spikes on it. I need something because I'm so used to that.
Yeah,
And obviously, they're hitting more balls than I am, so they know their swing much better,
yeah,
thousands and thousands of balls, and like they understand that. And like you said, with the balance is the biggest thing. And I mean, I don't have enough time, and I'm fine with not having it, but like with that spike, your left knee gets eventually, like it'll
yeah,
it'll beat down. Like you'll
yeah,
you'll feel that. Um ugh, crazy.
yeah. I was gonna say I think to that, ever since you've asked me that, I do feel a big difference from when I am wearing like my spikeless golf shoes to where like when I'm wearing my Jordan 11s,
Mm,
that do have spikes on them. I'm like, man, I feel like I can really get after this. But then
yep.
me being a bigger guy, the reason why I kind of went to spikeless was I hated
Sure.
how like like going on the green, my foot just
Oh, you could see that. You could definitely see that when you're on the where you were on the green. I mean, I saw it with like pretty much. I think my Nike Roches were the same way, where like you could
yeah
see where you walked. But like going back to what you were saying about being like smooth is the way to go. I know like what is it? The 80% rule is like the golden rule when it comes to like sprinters. Sprinters say that when you're functioning at 80%, you're really going at 100%. It feels like you're 80%, but you're focusing on everything to make sure everything's perfect and you're not like overdoing something, because if you overstride or if you're pump or if your stride's too short and you're going too fast, like you can F up your potential. And I feel like it might be the same way. Like when Bryson did his whole distance thing, he swung the crap out of the ball. Let's just say he wanted to go to like, I know this is probably, the numbers are wrong. Let's say 150% or 150 miles an hour was a goal to hit. Once he hit 150, he probably tried to get to maybe like 160 so that was the max, so that he could rein it down to about 90 to 80%, which is closer to 140, more controlled. To anyone else, it's an insane swing speed. But to us, he swung so fast that now he's reeling it in a little bit more, getting it a little more comfortable. And again, that takes time, money, and energy. But I mean, and not everyone can do that. But
yeah
I feel like I've seen a lot of things. You ever seen Gavin Flo on Instagram? Uh, he's always like, golf ain't that hard. Have you ever seen those Instagram? Gavin GFLO. He's part of Eastside Golf as well, but he always has these like quick little reels where it's like, "Are you doing this? Do this. Golf ain't that hard." And one
oh,
of his
yeah
things was like, when you're if are you struggling hitting your driver, swing at 85-90%. Don't try to kill it. Golf ain't that hard. And I've tried that, and it's just like when you stop and not try to kill it, everything works out. But when you try to rip
yeah
it and grip it, you'll hit one every once in a while. But the consistency, like was it Justin Thomas even said, "Oh, who would have thunk? It's hard hitting a driver straight when you hit his like 110%. Who would have thought? Like
yeah
wow, and it is true, but I've started doing that, and I finally figured out my driver. Fingers crossed. I'm going to Madera Country Club next week, and I can't wait to
nice.
try this out. But I've been 2 balls forward in my stance. I got to push that back, and yeah, I had too much of a pause there. My apologies. In my stance, but with having my stance 2 balls behind, my balls are going straight, and it's not like that video that you sent me where my balls are going straight on the driving range, and then as soon as
Oh yeah,
I
you
go
feel the push speed as
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
goes the other way.
yeah. Right, right.
Yeah, man. I met this really cool guy at my club. His name's Corey Cruz. Guess he's been around the golf industry for a long time, and he and I are like starting to be pretty consistent about playing some golf on Sunday. The last time I did play this last Sunday, played really well, but I didn't bring any of my camera stuff, and I was like, oh, dude.
Of course you didn't. Of course, of course.
Well, I
When you
just
do, you shoot like 85, and you're like,
I
I'm not
I
posting
know,
it.
dude.
Man.
It pisses me off. Like I was just like, what is going on? But then again, like he's kind of brought some, he's like, dude, you hit the ball so far. He's like, it's unreal how far you hit the ball. He's like, I've been in this game a long time and I've never seen anybody hit a driver as far as you do. Two, like strike your irons the way you do. He's like, I want to teach you how to like take your 5 iron and turn that club into like your 175 shot by just choking down and just finesse it up there, right? He's like, you don't need to hit to that number every time. I'm like, I'm not trying to hit to the number. I just like I try and hit shots, but then I get wristy. My timing is off and I push off to the right. He's like, well, that's what I'm saying. Get a 5 and just think smooth. So we did like a few holes like that, and it did make a huge difference. But man, dude, this guy rules the putter like it's no one's business. I will say, like I mean, he just steps up to a putt and he's just like,
Got
all
it.
right, there it is. And
You
then
guys would be an ultimate scramble team, huh?
oh, dude, literally, he did one. So we were playing like just a little friendly match, and I stuck it close on number 7 at Foxtail, which is it's a pretty tough hole. It's a pretty intimidating hole. He puts it like probably like 30 feet on the backside, and you have to go down, up, die the putt, get it to come back down, and into the little swivel. He did exactly that. He's just like there with his putter, gives it a few twirls. Yep, there's my line. Double check 1, 2. That's like his thing, and then just he sees it, and it like gets to this point where I saw his eyes looking. He just starts walking it in, just walking it, and I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I was like, stay up, stay up.
Get out, lip out, something.
Yeah. I'm like, bleep. And then we just tied. I'm like, that was a hell of a birdie, dude. But he puts it like it's no one's business. Like that's the one thing he just takes so serious. Anything else, he's like, yeah, I'll figure my way out around the trees. Like I don't need to hit driver. I'll just put something in the fairway and then hit the same club again and just get myself on the green or get close. Hits a wedge, and that's the thing. When we're like greenside, he doesn't pull like a 54 or a 58 or a 60. He takes
Bumps
a
and
pitching
runs
wedge.
it. Yep.
Yeah, no, he takes a pitching wedge, bumps and runs it, or he opens up the pitching wedge a bit and just kind of cuts underneath it, uses that little bounce, and there it goes. And it's like, you want me to putt that? You want me to putt that? I'm like, all right, brother, pick it up. It's good.
Yeah, that's same with one of my buddies, Brandon, who I'm going to golf with at Madera Country Club. He's the assistant pro there. He says he has a 52 and a 50 and a 58. He doesn't have a 54 because he just opens it or closes it if needed.
Yeah.
And I think he has a 64 just for the heck of it because he doesn't have a 3-iron. And so I think he's still a club open in his bag. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I just don't need the other clubs. And I'm like, well, that must be nice. He's like a +2, +3 right now. He's the one that has the record at a Dragonfly with the way back tees,
That's right.
the 3-under.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun to play with him next week. But I do think it's a good spot to wrap up the podcast. Next week, we'll definitely dive more into the Ryder Cup since it is coming up. And, I can't wait for it, honestly, even with the NFL season, happening. It's in Italy, so it'll be interesting to see the coverage of. It'll probably be late night or early morning, something random. So lucky us in California, at least. But we finally reached over 100 subs on YouTube. If you haven't checked us out on YouTube, definitely check us out over there. We're always dropping the podcast there as well, besides Spotify. We also have other golf content. I'm still waiting on Julio's videos that he's saying that he's going to break 75, but he's never sending them. So we're trying to get some more, videos out there. But I try to post my content of trying to break 80. I might try something new just with playing different courses around Central Valley.
I'll do it this Sunday for sure. No matter how bad it is, the last few ones.
That's the thing. People know they gotta know you're human, dude. They gotta know you're human.
No, but see, here's the thing though. The ones that I did do it, my camera died. I thought I had charged the.
Oh, okay.
I have the 4-pack. I got the 4-pack, and I thought I charged the case in my car. It wasn't charging, so the one at Bodega died, and then what was the other one? Then the last time I did the Foxtail run, like I don't know what was happening. I thought it was recording. Then I'm missing holes, and
I've had a few issues with that. Yeah,
I'm like. I was like, I literally did it all from my phone. Why is it not doing it? And I'm like, God, I'm just such
an idiot. Gosh. Oh.
You're so dumb, Karen.
I do have those issues sometimes. If you watch some of my Break 80 videos, I'll say like, oh, well, didn't pick this one up. But like I hit it here, and here I am now. Or one of them, I literally had it.
And tell the people, hey, I missed this hole. I got to film it. I'm a golf vlogger.
I have to hit it until I hit the same shot that I hit before. That I said I hit everywhere else. But no, there's another one where on the round of my life when I shot 1 under at Dragonfly, I legitimately, well, I don't know how I did this, but it went on. What's the one that's like time lapse? It went on time lapse on the 6th par 5.
That happens a lot to mine too.
I'm like, what the heck? But fortunately, you can see the swing. You just don't know where the heck the ball's going because I can't slow it down enough. But yeah, so definitely check us out. YouTube, obviously, if you're watching us on Spotify, we definitely appreciate a rating. That's huge for us. Lets other people know if we're worthy or not to check us out. We do have some hats on the way, hopefully coming within the next month or two. They're going to be awesome. They're going to look sick. We got some new colors. Definitely looking forward to that. Don't forget to check us out on also TikTok as well. But we're trying to come out with some new content. We're trying to come out again with hats. Maybe Julio's definitely been interested in some towels in the past. Just little things to get our name out there. Ball markers, things down the line will be awesome. Trying to support all the golf dads out there, all the Fore dads, I guess you could say. But that'll end it on this podcast. I think we're at 48 or 49, so we're coming up pretty close to 50, which is going to be
our next one next week will be. So this is 48. Our next one next week will be 49,
and then 50. We'll talk about the Ryder Cup. We talking about the Ryder Cup, the Ryder Cup about it after it all happens. So thank you guys, everyone, for all your support and everything. And don't forget to stay fly and go low, and we will see you next week.